The photo did not look dangerous. That was the problem. A young woman stood alone beside a highway before dawn. She wore a white top, loose black pants, and black Converse sneakers. Her hair fell naturally over her shoulders. She was not running. She was not crying. There was no blood, no panic, nothing to suggest she was about to vanish. The caption read, "Yes, it's real." Within hours, the image spread across social media in Mexico. Screenshots moved faster than explanations. People saved it, reposted it, zoomed in on it. Not because it showed violence, but because it showed calm in a place where calm should not exist. The woman was Debanhi Escobar, 18 years old, a law student, alive at 4:26 a.m., and then gone. The photo was taken by the rideshare driver who had been hired to take her home, and who instead left her on Highway 85, a road locals do not romanticize. This stretch between Monterrey and Nuevo Laredo carries another name, the Highway of Death. Since 2021, more than 100 people have disappeared along it. Some were found. Many were not. The pattern never led to accountability. Debanhi never made it home. By sunrise, her absence became impossible to ignore. She had gone to a party the night before. She was expected back. When her parents realized she was not answering her phone, her father, Mario Escobar, did not wait. By 8 a.m., he reported her missing. That decision mattered. Because in Mexico, time is often the only protection a missing woman has. As the search began, the photo took on a second meaning. It was no longer just evidence that she had been alive. It was proof that someone saw her and chose to leave. Debanhi was not reckless. She was studying law at the Autonomous University of Nuevo Leon. She came from a close, protective family. The danger of that road stood in direct contrast to the life she lived. That contradiction is what made the image unbearable to look at. Then the call started. Strangers contacted her father. They claimed they knew where his daughter was. They demanded money. Some promised answers. Others offered nothing but fear. Mario Escobar did not know whether these voices belonged to criminals, opportunists, or something worse. What he knew was this. While the internet debated theories, someone was exploiting his daughter's disappearance in real time. And beyond the photo, beyond the highway, beyond the noise online, something more disturbing was taking shape. Because Debanhi had not simply disappeared. She had been abandoned, on a road famous for what happens next. Debanhi Escobar left her home expecting a normal Friday night. She dressed casually, grabbed her phone, and stepped out before 11 p.m. She never imagined the hours ahead would stretch into chaos. She met with two young women, Ivan, a friend she had known online for months, and Sarai, someone she had just met that night. New friends, late hours, alcohol, unfamiliar streets. An unstable mix that night. Their first destination fell through. The party they had planned to attend was already over. Each failed stop pushed them further into unknown streets, and every choice chipped away at Debanhi's safety. By 1:10 a.m., they stumbled into another gathering at Quinta Diamante, allowed in despite knowing no one there. The night she expected to be fun had become unpredictable and tense. At the party, tension escalated quickly. Some guests accused Debanhi of being visibly drunk. She left, then returned. By 3:45 a.m., security cameras captured the moment her anxiety boiled over. Voices shouted. Hands reached for her. She ran. He grabbed her arm. Others surged. She screamed. She fought. She bit. Every exit seemed blocked. It wasn't a disagreement. It was a breakdown, and no one stepped in to stop it. Ivan and Sarai tried to intervene, but the crowd was too chaotic. Debanhi's panic intensified. She bolted from the party, frantic, and the girls realized they couldn't manage her alone. Desperate, they contacted Juan David, the rideshare driver who had taken them earlier that night, asking him to bring her home. By 3:54 a.m., he arrived. Debanhi's hands shook as she climbed into the car. The weight of the night pressed on her. Every block of silence narrowed her options. Her friends stayed behind, unable to guide her any further. From this point, control slipped away. The streets outside grew emptier. The night became darker. Each turn, each choice, edged her closer to uncertainty, and to danger that no one yet understood. Debanhi Escobar climbed into the car, hands trembling. Her chest heaved. Every noise, every shadow pressed in. The chaos of the party, the streets, the failed rides, all vanished behind her. She was alone. Juan David Suarez, the rideshare driver, had been called by her friends. His instructions were simple: take her home. But the drive became anything but simple. Flashes of struggle appeared in the car. Debanhi gestured sharply. He hesitated, frustrated, unsure, and possibly impaired. Texts from her friends pinged constantly. Every second stretched. Every choice delayed her safety. She tried to assert herself. She asked to charge her phone. He handed her the cable. She refused to cooperate further. The back seat had become a cage. By 4:25 a.m., Debanhi made the momentous choice or was forced into it. She opened the door and stepped onto the roadside. The car pulled away. The highway hummed faintly under the empty sky. She stood there, small, exposed, and completely cut off. The photo captured that instant. Calm, collected, standing alone on Highway 85. But the calm was a mask. The night she had expected to be ordinary had become unpredictable and tense. Every misstep, every hesitation, every failed intervention had funneled her forward. Every option had narrowed. Behind her, the streets were empty. Ahead, the dark, indifferent night waited. A road infamous for disappearances, where those abandoned rarely returned. The party, the crowd, the driver, the friends, all receded into memory. From this moment, she belonged to the road, and to the dark, indifferent night that had claimed so many before her. By sunrise on April 9, 2022, the photo of Debanhi on Highway 85 had gone viral. Every repost, every comment, screamed one truth: she was missing. Screens glowed across Nuevo Leon, showing a young woman frozen in a moment of isolation and fear. Her father, Mario Escobar, dialed again. Hands trembling, he listened to unanswered rings. Each silence cut deeper. The city was awake, but he felt utterly alone. Volunteers answered his call. They ran toward the edges of the highway, across empty asphalt and abandoned lots. Flyers plastered walls and poles. Every light in the distance became a potential clue. Drones hummed overhead. Dogs sniffed the ground. Each second stretched like a lifetime. Highway 85 had a dark history. More than 100 people had vanished along this stretch since 2021. Some had been found. Many had not. Mario remembered each name, each disappearance, and felt the weight of inevitability pressing down. Then came the extortion calls. They demanded money, whispered threats, laughed at his fear. Each ring rattled him more than the last. Someone had seen her or claimed they had. No one could know. Authorities mobilized too, but the gap between urgency and action was clear. Teams scoured abandoned lots and water tanks. Surveillance footage was requested. The city's official response trailed behind the community's frantic search. Volunteers raced ahead. Officials followed slowly, methodically. Debanhi's friends tried to help from afar. Messages pinged, calls were made. They remembered the last ride, the confusion, the sudden abandonment. Each retelling added weight to the night's escalating tragedy. By midday, no trace of her had been found. But the search revealed something grim. The highway she had been left on was a corridor of disappearances. Empty fields, wells, and water tanks held the memories of those who had vanished before her. And now she had joined them, unseen and unprotected. The photo of Debanhi remained the last confirmed sighting. Calm, frozen in pixels, but alive in the minds of everyone who saw it. Volunteers called her name into the early light. Drones hovered silently. The highway waited. The photo glowed on screens across Nuevo Leon. Debanhi was gone, and Highway 85 waited, silent and unyielding as the search for Debanhi intensified. Attention quickly turned to the last person who saw her alive. Juan David Suarez, the rideshare driver. He had dropped her on Highway 85, captured the haunting photo that would circulate online, and then vanished into the night. Authorities interrogated him repeatedly. His vehicle was inspected. Every detail was scrutinized. Suarez had a criminal history, drug-related arrests, and previous allegations of harassment. The public's suspicion mounted. Could the driver have done more than simply abandon her on the highway? Meanwhile, her friends faced scrutiny too. Sarai and Ivan had called the ride to get Debanhi home. Witnesses and surveillance footage confirmed they had left her with Suarez. Yet Mario Escobar, her father, publicly criticized them, believing they should have stayed. Social media followed suit, sending waves of backlash their way. CCTV footage became the next focus. The first clips revealed flashes of movement, Debanhi's last moments inside the car, gestures, brief scuffles, a moment where the driver's arm appeared near her chest. Every frame raised questions about what really happened. By 4:25 a.m., footage captured her stepping out onto the highway, alone, vulnerable. The car drove away. Debanhi's friends watched in horror from their screens. Their messages pinged, pleading, frustrated, powerless. The driver claimed she had refused to return to the car, that she had become difficult to manage, that he had offered help, even a phone charging cable, but she declined. Authorities considered these explanations, but inconsistencies raised eyebrows. Why had he taken a photo instead of staying with her? Why had he continued working instead of calling the police? The community's fear intensified as investigators reviewed nearby motel and transport company footage. Debanhi was seen walking along medians, peering into security booths, circling areas as if unsure where to go. No other individuals appeared in the recordings. Every movement suggested confusion, distress, and isolation. Each new clip magnified suspicion around Suarez. He was the only adult with her during those critical minutes. Every gesture, every text, every pause in the footage painted a murky picture. Public outrage grew. How could a young woman be left on a notorious highway, captured in photos and videos, and still vanish? The investigation was under pressure. Families, volunteers, and local media demanded answers. Every decision by authorities, every gap in surveillance, every delayed response amplified tension. Highway 85 was no longer just a location. It was a stage of suspicion, blame, and fear. By the end of this phase, the picture was clear. Debanhi had disappeared under the watch of adults who held responsibility for her safety. Yet the truth remained elusive. The driver, her friends, and the empty highway formed a puzzle that no one had solved. Each frame, each call, each witness added layers, but also contradictions. Debanhi's image lingered on screens, alone, standing, watching, waiting, and while cameras had captured her steps, no one yet knew what the night held beyond that frozen moment. 13 days after Debanhi vanished, the search finally turned a corner. A foul odor led volunteers to a disused water tank at the New Eva Castilla motel. The pool area had been abandoned for years. Dust-coated tiles, rusting railings, an overturned chair. Nothing hinted at what lay inside until divers were called. The tank was emptied, and there, still and silent, was her body. White top, black trousers, Converse sneakers, the outfit from the viral photo. Mario Escobar's hands shook as he stepped closer. He recognized the cross she always wore. Debanhi. She was gone. Shock rippled through the search team. Volunteers froze, staring at the tank. Drones hovered above. Dogs sniffed at the edges. How had she remained hidden here for nearly 2 weeks? The motel had been searched before. Every corner, every shadow. Nothing had appeared until now. Early reports suggested blunt force trauma to the head. Authorities theorized a tragic accident. A fall from a 7-foot, barbed wire wall into the 12-foot deep tank. But doubt crept in. No water in her lungs. No sign of drowning. The theory of a fall faltered. Questions multiplied. Even more alarming, her belongings were scattered in nearby tanks. Her handbag lay open, its contents spilling slightly. Her phone rested screen up, cracked from some earlier fall. Who had placed her things there? How could the items be so separated from her body? The motel staff claimed security cameras hadn't recorded, only provided live feeds. Yet new footage emerged, showing Debanhi wandering alone across the grounds. No staff appeared. Empty monitors flickered silently. Had cameras been turned off on purpose? Meanwhile, the city watched in horror. Social media erupted. Volunteers whispered her name into the wind. Hands trembled as flyers were held tightly. Phones scrolled endlessly through updates. The empty highway had become a corridor of loss, a place where visibility offered no safety. Debanhi's sneakers, once running for joy in life, now lay still forever. Her chest, her presence, captured only in memory and images. Mario's sobs were muffled against his shirt. Every unanswered question, every delayed action, echoed louder than the silence of the tank. Authorities had failed. Procedures had gaps. The truth remained hidden, and the public demanded answers. From the viral photo to the discovery in the water tank, the search had moved from hope to horror. And yet, the night story was far from over. The discovery of Debanhi's body was only the beginning. Answers did not arrive. The first autopsy, conducted on April 22nd, suggested blunt force trauma to the head. Authorities speculated she might have fallen into the tank. But doubt was immediate. No water in her lungs. No sign of drowning. The theory faltered. Investigators and her father, Mario Escobar, felt unease creep in. On May 12th, the report concluded murder and sexual assault, multiple blows to the head, ruling out accidental death. The public recoiled. The narrative had shifted overnight, from tragic accident to deliberate violence. But the story refused to settle. A third autopsy in Mexico City, conducted after exhumation, concluded asphyxiation as the cause of death and found no evidence of sexual assault. 3 autopsies, 3 conclusions. Each report contradicted the others. Investigators, family, and the public were frustrated. Cameras had failed. Guards had lied. Procedures had gaps. And the motel, once ordinary, became a monument to unanswered questions. Who was responsible? Why was she left alone on Highway 85? Was the scene manipulated? Obstructed? The sun set over Nuevo Leon. Silence answered for the authorities. The truth was gone. Shadows stretched over the highway, over the abandoned motel, over empty streets. Debanhi Escobar's life ended in a place that should have been safe. Her laughter, her steps, her voice, all gone. Her story reminds the world of fragile safety and the need for vigilance. Her death closed one chapter, but the questions remain. The outrage remains. Accountability remains unanswered, echoing through streets, screens, and minds.